Hello, hello, my stitchy lovelies. Welcome back to my channel, the one, the only Tangle Treasures. It's funny because when I created this channel and I created the name, I didn't realize the word "the" was in front of it, so I might as well take advantage of it. But anyways, welcome to my channel. This is the Tangled Treasures, and this is my second stitch and chat. And thank you so much for joining me today. And yeah, just thank you for spending some time with me and just being here and listening to my craziness. I do have my dogs behind me, so if you hear that, if you hear anything, it's them in the background. But anyway, I hope everyone's having a great day, night, evening, morning. Just I hope everyone's doing well and you're taking care of each other. Today I am going to continue to work on my Sal, my Dragon Eye Sal. As you can see here, I have my new needle minder that I got over at Wattobizz. Sandy, these are beautiful. There's so many different images. Please go check her out if you haven't done so already. And I am working on my frame, the 80 centimeter frame that I also got from Sandy over at Wattobizz. These are amazing frames. If you haven't tried it out, if you're on the fence about it, I'm telling you, it's worth it. They are amazing frames. Amazing. And if you haven't checked out the Facebook group, Sandy also has a Facebook group there. It's called Wattobizz Cross Stitch, so please go check that out. And yeah, let's get into this. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content, please consider subscribing. I'd really do appreciate. But thank you to all of those who are here joining me, are returning, are new. Thank you so much for the support. Today I will be working on this green symbol here and trying to get some of that block stitching done. Let me just get comfortable here. I realized that the last time I did a stitch and chat was about almost 2 weeks ago. So a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. So I will start from where I left off in the first one. So it's been a whirlwind. It's been ups and downs for the past 2 weeks. My husband actually had to go to New York to drop off his son with my stepson. He was here visiting for the summer for about 3 weeks, and my husband had to travel back and and take him back and things like that. And if Aiden, you're watching, I love you, honey. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you again. He watches my videos sometimes, so I just want to give him a little shout out. But yeah, and on my husband's way back to Florida, he ended up getting sick, and that wasn't nice. He ended up getting sick, almost like flu-like symptoms, and every time he travels, he gets sick. Every single time. Every time he comes back from New York, he just gets sick. And this time it was actually a delayed response. He got sick, I want to say 2 or 3 days later. So he left on a Wednesday. He came back that same Wednesday night. And I want to say by Saturday, he was already feeling sick. So that was fun. Meaning I had to keep everybody away. I had to disinfect. and just make sure that nobody else got sick. Thankfully, no one else did get sick. So, you know, that's awesome. And then, so that was that weekend. Then that following Monday, you know, I go to work. You know, the kids started school that weekend, which was the 11th. I mean, that week, the beginning of that week was Monday the 11th, and the kids started school here. And if you don't know, I homeschool my kids. I put them in a school that is through Florida. It's called Connections Academy, and they have the free program here in Florida. So I was able to enroll them, and I did that about 2 years ago. I didn't want to continue putting them in regular school. That's just a decision that me and my husband made. As far as with the kids, we wanted to, you know, have more say and be more part of their education. So we decided to homeschool them. And the only reason I was able to do that is because I work from home. So working from home gave me that ability to stay with them and homeschool them, and also working. It was a tough first year, I'll tell you that, because that first year was just adjusting to the curriculum, adjusting to the schedules, adjusting to the workload. And it's self-paced, but at the same time, you know, we have to be there with them and make sure that they do their work and things like that. So that can get a little hectic and a little stressful. But once I got the hang of it, I was able to, you know, help them with their schoolwork and things like that. And they've excelled in the school. I mean, they're getting high grades. They're all honor roll students. And yeah, I have the two little ones. They're in grade schools. I have one in 4th grade right now. And then I have my 6th grader. She just started 6th grade this year. So she's in junior high. And then I have my 18-year-old, and she is in her last year of high school. So kudos to her. She's just trying to finish. She just wants to finish high school. And so yeah, so they started school again on last week, and then that was fun because again, we have to go through the schedule. You know, the kids, even though they're home and the summer, they still have to get back into a routine, like going to bed early and you know, eating dinner by a certain time and finishing your schoolwork by a certain time and things like that. So that was that. And then that Monday, the first day of school, right after work, I got a call from my son-in-law. And I'm like, that's my oldest daughter. She's 25. Her husband called me, and I'm like, he never calls me. So I already thought bad thoughts, right? Like I was like, oh my God, something happened to my daughter. What happened to her? And then what else? So he called and he said, hey, I have bad news and things like that. And I was like, oh dear. Uh-oh. And he said one of the dogs passed away. And I said, oh my gosh, why? What happened? He said that, and I know that her youngest dog was having a lot of health issues because 2 weeks prior, I had gone with my daughter to the vet to see what was going on with the dog. And they kept telling her that it was allergies. And I'm like, that's not allergies. Like he had like almost like mange, like his skin, his bottom part of his body, the skin was turning black. It had like a sour smell, and it was just really, really bad. He was suffering, that poor dog. And they kept just telling her it's allergies. And I'm like, that's not allergies. And then, she did everything. She did the treatments. She got the medication, any medication. She did actually have a, where am I here? Why am I, okay. She actually did get make an appointment for a dermatologist for the dog. But he had passed away by the time, before she could even make it to the appointment. So my daughter doesn't live near me. She lives about an hour and change from me. She lives in Orlando, and I live between Tampa and Orlando. So it was about an hour and 15 minutes from drive. So I told him, I said, hey, if you give me 10 minutes, I can get ready and I can drive over there, but I'll be there after 6. He said, fine, that's fine. I just need somebody here because I know she's going to get upset. So I drove over there. By the time I got to her house, he had already broken the news, and it looked like he just, I don't know how because I saw him and he was laying in his bed just asleep. Like, he looked like he was sleeping and he was resting, but he wasn't, he was gone. And I spoke to my son-in-law and I said, tell me what happened. And he said he came home, he fed them, and then he sat down, he was relaxing because he came from work. And then when it was time to take them out to, do their business, only one of the dogs came, because they have 2 dogs. Only one of the dogs came, and he's calling him. He's like, Scooby. His name was Scooby. He said, Scooby, Scooby. He wouldn't come. So my son-in-law went to the room to see what was going on, and he just saw him laying on his bed, and he wasn't breathing. He tried everything. He was like, what's going on? Oh my God. And he was just not breathing. And then, I was there in her house for a few hours. I took her out to get a drink or just get out of the house, because we did find someone or a company that was able to pick up the body, and and do the cremation, because that's what he got cremated. And we were able to get all that done within that night. So thankfully Scooby was able to be picked up, and she didn't have to be in the house with the dog's body. It was just so sad. And I hate to see my kids cry. Like, I think any parent would hate to see their kids cry. You want to take away that pain, but there's nothing that you can do to take away that pain. That's just something, unfortunately. Grief is something that we eventually all have to face some point of our lives. And this was like her first real pet, like her first real dog. And and dogs are like family. They become your children. Gotta make sure that they eat, they sleep well, that they're doing their business well, and it's a lot. So it just hurt me. So I a few days have passed. I mean, that was last week, and she was just a mess. She was a mess. She took the next day off, so did he. And she was just a crying mess. And my heart went out for her. And then she's like, Mom, I don't know how you're gonna handle it, because I have 3 dogs, 3 pits. And she's like, I don't know how it's gonna be for you, because I'll take this up later. I don't know. I think that's from the bottom. Okay. Anyway, she's like, I don't know how you're gonna do that because you have 3 and you're with them every day. I was just with Scooby about 2 years, and that was a lot. So she just like, I don't know how you're gonna do it. She's like, I feel like I'm dying. And I said, you know what? I told her, I said, I know what you mean, and I don't want to think about it because I will most likely be taking way more time off than a day. But I actually, in memory of Scooby, I was able to get a picture done of him, and I actually received it today. So it took about a few days or about a week for me to get it, but I purchased this picture of him, and I will insert it in the screen right now so that you can see the picture that I got. And I think it came out pretty well. I just have to frame it now. So it's supposed to be like a watercolor poster or something like that. So I'm gonna see if I can just order a frame, like a poster frame for it, or should I take it to like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something like that? Let me know in the comments what you think I should do for that poster or that picture. But yeah, she has his ashes, and then she has a little shelf. She put him up in a shelf and with his ashes, and I'm like, now you just have to find closure, because now you have him there. And she wrote a poem for him, and now she'll have the picture, and she's just, but she's going through it. She's doing much better now, but it took her a little while, but she's okay now. And so that was that. Then I find out, I want to say in that same week, which was last week, we found out that the kids' school, so the kids' schools, they are online, but grades kindergarten through 5th grade are one school, and then the 6th grade through high school through 12th grade is another school. So the elementary school was Coastal Connections, and then the other school, the remainder of the school is Florida Connections. So my son, my 4th grader, was in Coastal Connections, and we found out last week that they're closing the doors. And I'm like, on September 1st, and I was like, what is going on? What happened? Like so many unanswered questions. And they had a board meeting this past Tuesday, which was the 19th, and they said that due to, I guess, not enough enrollment numbers and things like that, and the kids not performing well in state tests, that they had no choice but to close the school down. But that any student that was still wanting to go to Florida Connections would open their doors, because they also do offer K-5 grades. So thank goodness for that, because I was afraid I would have to pull my son out and put him in regular school. But they said no, he would just be transitioned over to Florida Connections, which is where my other 2 girls are. So he's fine. And it's the same platform, but it's the different teachers. He's not going to have the same teacher. He'll have someone else. So, it's kind of sucky, because you have a rapport with these teachers. He was going to have the same teacher that my daughter had last year, and I really, really loved her. Well, I love her, you know what I mean? But I really wish that the school didn't close. There was another teacher, a writing teacher. She was really good, and he was going to have her. And it just sucks. And with online school, you know, you can't just leave the kids to do the work, or you can't do the work for them, because at the end of the day, they have to do a state test and they have to pass that state test, right? So they have to practice during the school year how to do their own work. And what I think happened was that a lot of kids were not doing the work. The parents were probably, and when it's time for testing, they didn't do well. They didn't do well in the test and anything like that. So it sucks, because for the ones that were putting in all the work, they were doing what they needed to do, they get the short end of the stick. So this just sucks. So it's just been one thing after the other. Then, of course, one of our cars broke down, and I don't know if you hear that, my alarm went off. One of the alarms went off for the kids, but it's probably, it's probably for them to start doing what they have to do to get ready for bed. But anyway, one of our cars broke down. That was fun. And my husband had to, God bless my husband. He has so many titles. He's not just a father or a husband. He is a mechanic. He's a martial artist. I mean, he's an electrician. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. The car broke down, and it was a starter issue, and he was able to fix that. And thank goodness for that, because we definitely need 2 cars in our household. We need 2 cars. We can't just have one. And then as soon as the car got fixed, I want to say like a day or 2 later, we had a really bad thunderstorm. And I guess it blew out one of the breakers and stuff like that. And the lights in half of the house weren't working, which then affected the side where I work from home. I work and the kids go to school. So that affected that side. So we had to go rearrange everything, work off Wi-Fi, while my husband was trying to figure out how to fix the power. And I mean, this man went up to the crawl space. We call it the attic, but it's not really an attic. It's like a crawl space on top of the house, and it's very, very tight there. And it's not a lot of ventilation. I mean, and he's asthmatic. He said after this, he went up there, but he said after this, he would never do it again. Like, he can't go back up there anymore. And he couldn't figure it out. He's like, I'm going to have to call an electrician because I can't figure out what's wrong. And so he was figuring it out, trying to do this, trying to do that, looking at YouTube videos and stuff. And then on the second day, he's like, I give up. I don't know what it is and stuff like that. I know it's something. I know this. And when you get that, like, the answer, but for some reason it's not hitting you. That's how he was for 2 days. And then he's like, I'm going to try one more thing, just one more thing. And then if that doesn't work, I'm definitely calling an electrician. And I want to say like 10 minutes later, the lights came back on. He was like, yes, I did it. I'm the man. I was like, you are the man. I was like, oh. And I was like, he was not going to go to sleep until he figured out what it was. And let me tell you, he saved us so much money in between the car and the electricity. I want to say it was almost like $1,000 or $2,000 that he saved us with that. And that's why I say my husband has many talents, wears many hats, and I appreciate him so, so much. And you know, you've probably seen him because we've done the videos for the assembly of the frame and the not the frame, but the floor stand and the desk stand. So the desk stand, I'm sorry, my English today, tired. But you've seen him, and he assembled, and he is an amazing, amazing man, and I appreciate him so much. But yeah, if it's not one thing, it was another. And other than that, I think that was it. This is the second week that the kids are, are in school. They already started state testing. So here they do they state test 3 times. They do the state test in the beginning of the school year, in the middle of the school year, which is around January, and then at the end of the school year, which is May. For us, we finish school in May. And yeah, they just they're doing their state testing now, and they should be state testing again in January. But right now I'm just working on the transition of my son and get him over to the new school so there is no interruptions in his work. But yeah, that's what's been going on in my world of craziness in these past couple of weeks. I am trying to still figure out a schedule as far as like for the stitch and chats, because I do work and I do homeschool my kids. So it might just be that I do it every 2 weeks for now until I can figure out what works. And in between the unboxings and all that stuff, so the stitch with me's, I'll probably just do it every 2 weeks for now. And let's see, I am still waiting on some kits that I ordered from Wattobizz. I ordered a kit where I am going to join a stitch along with Amanda over at Amanda's Crafty Corner. Go check her out. She is funny, silly. I think if I ever met her in person, we'll become best of friends. Like I like her demeanor. She's really, really nice. But go check her out. She is planning on doing a stitch along with one of the kits. I will post a picture here and show you the kit that I got. I'm also waiting. No, lie, I'm not waiting. I already received it. I'm doing another stitch along with Wattobizz, Sandy, and that's the color by color stitch along. And that's going to start September 15, if I am not mistaken. That everyone that's joining should have their kit by then. I already unboxed it, so if you haven't seen that unboxing, go check that out. That's where I opened up this beautiful cover minder, and I got my beautiful Snow White. Oh, I love her. But yes, definitely go check out Wattobizz, the Facebook group. Check out Amanda's Crafty Corners Facebook group. Really, really fun groups, very welcoming, and you're gonna have a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm excited about the stitch alongs. I don't know why I do this to myself, because I already have the stitch along. I have the color by color Sal. Now I want to join the one with Amanda. I mean, it's all fun, right? I'm not in it for the prizes. I'm in it because of the joy of cross stitching, the joy that, I get seeing other people's projects and completions. I saw today somebody completed the dragon Sal, which is amazing. It came out so beautiful. And if you check out the Facebook groups, you'll get to see other kits and other images that people are working on, which is amazing. So, but yeah, and I think that is all I have for now. Nothing else. But I appreciate you guys staying with me, joining me here today, letting me vent. And I hope you like the stitch along. Like I said, I'll try to schedule a more frequent one, more ongoing. But for now, due to the busy schedule, I'm just gonna do it every 2 weeks. If not, I'll change it to more frequent times. But yeah, I hope you all have a great evening, day, whatever time zone you're in, whenever you're seeing this. I hope you guys like this. Please hit the like button if you do. And if you want to see more, just consider subscribing. But until then, my friends, I will leave you here. Just take care of each other. And I hope everyone has a great day. Keep on stitching. Bye.